Welcome once again to Jon S Sports Channel, where we do everything Championship, League One and even running. And today it's our predictions for League One Week 10. So we're on game week 10. We've done our game week 9 review. Please go and have a look at it. We didn't do too badly. It wasn't great, but we did a little bit better than the average. So I'm always happy to be on the good side of the average. We're going to go into this game week with Huddersfield versus Barnsley. Now, Huddersfield versus Barnsley. 4 losses in a row for Huddersfield and Barnsley, who seem to be the draw specialists. And what do we think? Well, Huddersfield put a cog in the works for Birmingham, didn't they? They certainly knew how to stop them from getting close-range shots. And they did a good job in defence. They really did. Now, looking at how many they're letting in, you wouldn't expect them to be opening the barn doors and letting a load in. So I don't think it's going to be sort of one of these 3 or 4 goal blitzes in either direction. Barnsley also don't seem to really be letting goals in, and they don't seem to be letting a lot of goals, scoring a lot of goals. So I think either way it's going to be 1s and 2s. You seem to be agreeing with us 2-1, 1-2, 1-1, 1-1, and I'm sort of looking at Huddersfield's losing streak and thinking, how long is it going to last? Because it's not going to last for long, and I don't think it'll last for too much longer. But will it last just another game, just another 2 games? Looking at the Birmingham game, I think they're starting to show signs of just not dropping their head basically, and being able to just push on, even if they let a goal in. They certainly kept hammering Birmingham even when they were 1-0 down. So I do think that they are getting better. I don't think they're getting quite good enough at the minute to beat Barnsley. A lot of you going 1-1, and I'm really tempted to go 1-1, but I don't want to be sitting on the fence too often. I think if any team wins this, it's going to be Barnsley. I'm just going to stick my neck out and go Huddersfield 1, Barnsley 2, and agree with some of you out there, although this could be a 1-1 draw. And then we go into Peterborough versus Stevenage, and Peterborough versus Stevenage is indeed an interesting game. Stevenage have been really good at home, but they've also had very, very few goals as well. So will they be able to stop a lot of goals? Because we then have to look at Stevenage, and Stevenage aren't scoring a lot of goals. They're not letting a lot of goals in either. The last three game results were 0-0, 1-0 win, 1-0 win. And you have to go back to Barnsley 5 games ago to see them win 3-0. So I don't think he's set up his side to score lots of goals, but he's set up his side certainly to make a Stevenage side that is damn good at the back. And that's playing a Peterborough side, like I say, that I don't think they score huge numbers, but they're slightly weaker at the back. And I'm sort of, I was tempted to go with 1-0 to Peterborough, and then I was thinking 1-1 because they are both quite low scoring and low letting goals in. I just think that the home advantage, and looking at the last two, certainly the last 2 home games, because it's been mainly away from home. Away. Home, last 2 homes, Bristol Rovers win 3-2 and a Lincoln City 1-1. They'll want to try and make sure they at least keep the home form running really well. And they'll want to answer back to the critics for letting 3 goals in against Birmingham and letting 3 goals in against Wigan. we've got scores all the way from you from 1-2 to 1-0 and 2-0 and 2-1 and 1-2. There's scores all over the place. And this is really why I plummet. I plumped for 1-1, and then I thought, no, we're not going to plump for 1-1. On this one, we're going to go with a winner, and I'm going to slightly edge towards probably one or two or more of you saying Peterborough. I'm going to go with Peterborough 2, Stevenage 1, but this could easily be a draw, and it could easily go the other way. This is a really, really difficult game with two very evenly matched defences. I think it'll be who's more clinical up front that wins that one. Bolton versus Shrewsbury next, and Bolton. Oh, forget all those moans about, are they going to lose their manager this week? Wow, what happened when that came to press? All of a sudden they suddenly started. I mean, it was the 4-0 home drubbing by Huddersfield, wasn't it? And then after that they won 5-2 to Reading. Forget the Arsenal game, that doesn't count. Then they won 2-0 away at Crawley. Then they won 4-2 away at Northampton. This team is motoring, believe it. They really are motoring. And they've now proved that they've got a method and a gameplay and a game plan that can actually get shots in. Because I remember 3 weeks ago saying they can't shoot. They're just not they're not making any shots at goal sometimes. It was really weird. And all of a sudden, it's... how many shots did they have in at Northampton? Let's just have a quick recall of the stats from Northampton. 14 shots, 6 on target, and that's why I think Bolton have changed their future in this league. They really have managed to turn it from 0 shots in a game to as many as they can muster. Shrewsbury, on the other hand, are 1 win for the Shrews all season. They're not doing great. 3-0 home win to Leyton Orient on the 31st of August. Since then, they've drawn against Rotherham. They're only non-loss in the last 5 games. But then they played garbage and we played just as garbage. They really didn't play very well. I can see this being a drubbing. What are you saying? 4-1, 3-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-0. I'm going to go with most of you. Most of you seem to be saying 3-0. I'm going to go with you. Bolton 3, Shrewsbury 0. That's down to you lot. So if we lose this one, that's all down to you. No, it isn't, honest. Oh dear. So I'm going to blame somebody. Charlton versus Birmingham next, and Charlton were so clinical at the beginning. They were really brilliant. And the one game Rotherham played really well away from home was a game at Charlton, and we drew it. And Charlton just managed to grab that draw. But they were so thorough and so clinical. And since then, it seems to have dropped out of the sky. Charlton 3 defeats in a row. Blackpool 2-1 at home. Stevenage 1-0 away, and then Bristol Rovers 3-2 away. They don't seem to have that clinical edge anymore. They will get it back. I think they're just on they're on a similar path at the minute as Huddersfield. Most teams in League One and some in the Championship seem to have a 6-game run where they just don't do very well. And I think that Charlton are right in the middle of it. Can't see Charlton winning, especially seeing as their visitors are the infamous Birmingham City, who are first, Charlton who are 13th. This is one where you just can't write off Birmingham, can you? Although I have seen somebody put 1-0 to Charlton. Charlton do seem to score in all their games. I mean, they didn't against Stevenage, but they do seem to score more often than not. I'm going to say they're going to score again, but I think Birmingham are going to outride this, and I'm going to go Charlton 1, Birmingham 3. So Exeter City versus Cambridge, and this one is one of those difficult ones for me because I'm looking at the history, and you can see how Cambridge have been doing pretty dire. I don't think they've won one. This is their worst start ever. They played Rotherham, and they were absolutely garbage. And I feel for their fans, I really do, watching that rubbish. But Rotherham were equally as rubbish. In fact, it was almost like we were watching 23rd versus 24th in the league. Rotherham went down to the were defending, and we tried putting it in our own net, and we even failed that. And then it went straight up the other end, and we managed to scramble it into the goal. I mean, it came off his butt, I think, in the end, which was just typical, isn't it? Nombe scores from his arse. Great. Yes. So we were both garbage. Cambridge were garbage. Rotherham were garbage. Doesn't look like they're going to be... I can see them scoring. But they're playing a team in Exeter who've really got... They've improved so much, and look at their defensive record. How many have they let in the last 6? Oh, well, we'll forget that. That's the cup. In the last 5 games, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. You know, they've suddenly started to get clean sheets, and I don't think they're going to stop now. I think they're going to keep a clean sheet. And Exeter with their improved performances, and that's going to really drive down into the crowd, into that home support. The players are going to be feeling it. The fans are going to be feeling it. The whole atmosphere is so much better when you know things have turned round. You know, I can't see any other result than to agree with most of you. 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, 3-1. I'm going to choose one of those. I'm going to go choose Exeter 2, Cambridge 0. Lincoln City versus Orient is next, and Lincoln City versus Orient is actually quite difficult. And I tell you for why, because Lincoln City they've drawn 3 out of the last 4, and they only won Cambridge 2-0 away, and we know what Cambridge are like, and they really... A team of Lincoln's stature and ability should be putting them to bed in the first quarter of an hour. But they did draw away to Peterborough, and Peterborough are a good side. They also won against Stevenage. I mean, Stevenage at that time were playing really, really well and getting good results. So it's a little bit up and down for Lincoln City, and Orient have been pretty good. They've also been getting draws. Peterborough draw, a Wrexham draw, which is really, really important. And the Exeter game, they didn't play that badly, and people have been actually saying, Leyton Orient are starting to show signs of winning. In fact, before the midweek game, everybody was saying 1-0, 0-0, 1-0 to Leyton Orient. They were all saying that Orient would win. And you know, it was actually a 0-0, but well, it wasn't. It was 1-0 win. Yeah, I'm going to say we chose a 0-0. It was a 1-0 win to Exeter, wasn't it? But everybody was saying that Leyton Orient would win it because that was the feeling at the time, and it makes it hard for me because I'm looking at the Leyton Orient and the Lincoln City as thinking, these are two sides that could be, they're both low scoring at the minute, and I just think that there's not been many goals in it. 2-1, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. You're all going with Lincoln. I'm going to go with you lot. You lot got a lot to answer for if you get this one wrong. I'm going to go with you. Lincoln City 1, Leyton Orient 0. So that's another one where you've put me into a position where I'm going to have to do that. I was going to go 0-0, and don't be surprised if it's a 0-0. Mansfield versus Blackpool next. And Mansfield versus Blackpool, excuse the cough. We have Mansfield on a run of, that's Blackpool, that's the stupid cup, isn't it? So we'll forget that one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 wins in a row. Cambridge 2-1, Shrewsbury 2-1, Northampton 2-0, and then Crawley 2-0. And they are really starting to show that they can win without collapsing. And sometimes there've been times when they've just not turned up. There've been times when they've played really well and then just forgot about it and collapsed. And they're playing a Blackpool side that obviously, the new manager is well known. He's finally dropped points at the in midweek. 1-1 at home. 1-1 at home to Lincoln City. Will they do it again? Well, it's going to be difficult, this one. I see this going either way. This one could be one of those games. Third against third place Mansfield, sixth place Blackpool. Mansfield on a good run. Blackpool also on a very good run. Just hiccuped a bit midweek. This could be a draw, but nobody seems to be producing that in their comments. 1-2, 2-3, 0-2, 0-2. You've all gone for Blackpool, and because of that, I'm not going to sit on the fence, because I would have gone for a 1-1 or a 2-2. Instead, I'm going to go for Mansfield 1, my team to watch, against Blackpool 2. So 1-2 to Blackpool. I'm going to go with you again. I'm hoping going with you gets me better results, so let's see in my review next time. You might be all in trouble. Rotherham versus Reading next, and Rotherham are my team. Rotherham, what can I say? That was dire. That was our first away win in almost 2 years, 693 away days, and that those fans celebrated like we'd won the cup. And it was a dire game. It was really dire. I've already mentioned it in the Cambridge review against Exeter. I'm not going to go any further. Against a Reading side who seem to have shrugged off this idea that they've got troubles off field, which is absolutely remarkable, because I didn't think they would. Usually troubles off field filter onto field, and the team's results are really starting to take a dive. But Reading have been doing well, but they're not travelling very well. If you look at their results on the road, they're not actually travelling very well. Let's have a look at their away. Bolton last time away, 5-2 defeat. Home, away. Wrexham, 3-0 defeat. They seem to have done rather well, but in the last 6 games, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 home games in the last 6 games. So basically what they've done is they've been able to drive their results possibly purely on the fact that they're all home games. This is going to be a really critical test for them. Can they turn around this away form? Because they've turned around the home form, now they need to prove to us they can turn around the away form. I'm gonna say that we're Rotherham seem to be a little bit better at home, at least for half the game. I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt. Being a Rotherham fan, I'm going to go with Rotherham 1, Reading 1, but don't be surprised if it's Rotherham 1, Reading 2. I just feel that they need to show the fans they can play well away as well. They've not had the opportunity to do that. This would be the opportunity to do it, wouldn't it? And then we have Stockport Wigan. And Stockport Wigan is one of those games, isn't it? I mean, 5th versus Wigan in 14th. But Wigan really have they've been playing really well and just not getting the results. 0-0 against Lincoln City away, 0-0 against Stevenage at home, 0-0 against Exeter at home, and then suddenly it's 3-0 against a really good Peterborough side at home. And you think, away from home, they can. I mean, the one before that was a 4-0 away win at Bristol Rovers. So, they can win away, and they can win convincingly away. And they're playing a Stockport team that were doing cracking, and are now, they're okay. They're not a bad side. A blip against Leyton Orient, 4-0 defeat at home. They seem to have been found out in one or two quarters, and I do worry that's going to be part and parcel of this. The Wigan side are very, very good at looking at stats and histories, and they seem to just change their play slightly each time, just to warrant a change for the fact that who they're playing, they've looked at and we know how to stop that attack or that defender. Even if it's putting 3 people on it, which I saw them do once this year already. 5th versus 14th. I'm looking at all those 0-0s in the Wigan camp. I'm looking at the fact that there's been plenty of goals both ways in the Stockport side, and I'm sort of more erring towards a Wigan win, but I've got 0-0s from you lot, 2-2s, 1-0s both ways. I can't split. I'm going to have to sit on the fence. I want to move, and if I move, I'd go to Wigan. I'd say Wigan 1-0, but I'm going to go with Stockport 0, Wigan 0. Wrexham versus Northampton next, and Wrexham seem to have just had a little bit of a blip. They've not been quite firing on all cylinders. In the last 4 league games, they've won 1, lost 2 and drawn 1, which is by no means poor, seeing as they played Birmingham and Stevenage. And Stevenage were playing really well and they won them. No, they lost against Stevenage. So Stevenage have been playing really well and they lost against them. Birmingham obviously always playing well, so they lost against them. So you can sort of strike those off possibly. Leyton Orient, Stevenage was away. Leyton Orient 0-0 away. Crawley win 2-1 at home. This is one of those games that I just look and I think, Wrexham are just jittery a little bit. Who are they playing? Northampton. Now, I've been telling you for ages, Northampton have been losing and drawing games, and actually they've been by far the best team. The fight back at Bolton, they never lower the head, and this would be good against Wrexham because they don't seem to really be scoring an awful lot. Recently, they seem to have lost their mojo up front, and I just think that if anybody's going to come back and win or equalise from behind, to me, it would be Northampton. So I'm going to go with Motion 4-1, 2-1, 2-0, 2-0. You know something? I'm going to go with you lot. Wrexham 2, Northampton 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was 2-2 or even 2-1 in Northampton's favour, because Northampton have that never say die attitude, and it's one of those teams that Rotherham used to be like, and it's brilliant to watch them. You're 4-0 down, and we did it in the Championship once, 4-0 down, and I think we drew 4-4, and that never say die attitude produces some absolutely outstanding games. And Northampton fans, I've got a feeling you're going to be watching some bloody good football in the coming months. Wickham versus Crawley to finish with, and we're going Crawley side with no manager, and Wickham. Apparently, one of the broadcasts said not the top 20. I think it was said Wickham scored 2 in every league game. Let's have a look. Northampton 2-1 win away. That's a cup. Cambridge 2-1 win at home. That's the cup. Bristol Rovers 2-1 win away. Barnsley 2-2 draw. So will the 2-goal amazing run by Crawley continue? Crawley by Wycombe continue. Wycombe in 8th, Crawley in where are Crawley? I've not even looked at Crawley. Crawley in 21st. What are you all saying? 3-0, 4-2, 4-1, 2-0. You know, I'm going to go with that it will continue. Can't see Crawley getting out of this quagmire yet because, you know, they're on a bad run. 3 games in a row, but they have played Mansfield, Bolton and Wrexham. And I just think that their heads are going to be slightly dropped at the minute. You know, after a good solid draw against Stockport County when they were playing well as well. And the heads have dropped. I don't think they're going to be able to do that against a Wycombe side that are not playing badly at all. Not badly at all. In fact, they've been playing. Yeah, that second half against Barnsley was just cracking. It was all one-way traffic. I'm going to go with you. Wycombe 2, Crawley 0, and that's Jon S Sports Channel signing off for a prediction for the League One Week 10. Please like and subscribe. Give me your comments down below for next week's games. I do need them, and I do look at them, and I do try and make comments about them, and